And we're back on Second Street, this time talking with the winner of the Patricia Trottier and Gwyn Morgan essay contest winner. Jonathan Barazzutti is a student at the University of Calgary, and he has written an essay called Six Ways to Fix the Intellectual Diversity Problem at Canadian Universities. Jonathan, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat, and congratulations on your victory there. Do you want to just start by telling us a little bit about yourself? What are you studying at the University of Calgary?
Yeah, so I'm currently in my third year of an undergraduate degree. So I'm currently in my honors degree in economics.
Good stuff. And let's dive into the topic that you've written about. You want to just tell us about the problem that you see at Canadian universities right now?
So basically, my essay kind of plays on the existing DEI programs that exist. So DEI being diversity, equity, and inclusion. And essentially, these programs, what they claim to do is by increasing the proportion of people in underrepresented groups within universities, that therefore increases the amount of perspectives and all of that. And what I essentially argue in my essay is that actually existing DEI programs fail to increase intellectual diversity, at least in terms of political diversity. And that if we actually want to expand the number of perspectives, we should really be focusing on increasing the number of political perspectives within universities, which isn't happening currently. DI programs instead are essentially just an extension of the left wing domination of university, which is undermining the amount of free and open debate that's happening on campuses.
Okay. I think a lot of people would actually agree with you. Just going through the university system, it does seem like they do have this bias towards sort of the center left. So I don't think too many people are going to challenge you on that point. But we love to talk about solutions on this show, and in your essay, you've identified a number of them. First one, prioritize the production of knowledge. Do you want to just tell us about how what that would entail and how you think that would look on a campus setting?
Yeah, so essentially what I wanted to do with my essay was I didn't just want to look at specific policies per se. I did do that in a lot of my recommendations, but prioritizing production of knowledge more concerns a broad philosophy that I want the university to take. So essentially, universities will have sort of like long-term goals that they might release in a report for, say, 5 or 10 years into the future down the road, and they'll have certain goals such as like mental health or all of that. Essentially, what I want when it comes to prioritizing the production of knowledge is just to include that we want to increase the amount of knowledge that our university produces within the list of goals that the university is going to focus on over the next, say, 5 or 10 years in those kinds of reports that exist. And from that,
Mhm.
my belief is that that would have downstream effects in terms of increasing intellectual diversity, given that that would actually improve the amount of production, the amount of knowledge that is produced within universities.
Okay. What about number two? Commit to institutional neutrality. Tell us about what you think could happen there.
Yeah, so institutional neutrality is basically just saying that universities shouldn't be commenting publicly on events that are on around the world. I think that we saw, for instance, many universities, even in Canada, in 2020, comment on, say, the George Floyd killing. That's one example of many. And my university commented on it, despite being a Canadian university. It was commenting on an American affair. And I think that ultimately what ends up happening as a result of universities commenting on these issues is that it undermines the level of speech that faculty feel they can engage in. If the university, if the top levels of administration publicly have one stance, and you're a professor who has a different stance or a student, I think that that might disincentivize you from actually speaking your mind, from actually trying to discuss honestly a particular issue. And so, therefore, what I want to happen is that universities should only comment on their internal affairs and not comment on particular political events that might be happening, whether it be in their country or in other countries around the world.
What about the neutrality of professors too? It seems like often professors take more of a center-left perspective.
Yeah, so it should be clear that institutional neutrality only concerns the affairs of the university any professor, any student's
Mm.
free to have whatever perspective they want. The point is that the institution is supposed to allow for diversity of perspectives. That doesn't prohibit, of course, any individual within the university from having a perspective of their own.
Okay, listen, you've got some other interesting ideas. When we come back, we're going to dig into them.